All right, how is everyone doing today? Welcome to my channel. This is an educational channel, and we check out great theories, discoveries, concepts, uh, grand unified theories, all encompassing theories, magnum opuses, tour de forces, earth shattering discoveries. And these are generally things that have been suppressed. And so your average person is not going to know about them. And even your average digger is not going to know about them because your average digger has only gone 6 inches deep. There's plenty there in the first 6 inches for a big exploration. And so I'm not besmirching that. That's stuff that needs to happen. But if you go way, way deep, then um, you get back into the heart of things, um, things that go further and further back in your um, conditionings, further back into your upbringing, uh, into your domestic upbringing, but then also your cultural upbringing, your religious upbringing. And it turns out that these things don't stand the test of scrutiny either, just like the ones in the 21st and 20th century didn't stand the test of scrutiny. We've been hoodwinked all the way down. Um, they've got us worshiping false idols, false gods, um, misdirecting us away from true things. And that's what we have to clean up. Um, it takes a while. So that's what I'm here for because I've had a while. Because I dropped out of society like 35 years ago, and I've been doing a lot of trial and error. Um, as Buckminster Fuller says, guinea pig B. Um, tried some of these things out on myself, and went down a lot of blind alleys. And so this is episode number 22 of a feature that we call the Q-tip of the spear. And we look at the Infowar clown show slash, uh, global civil war, um, you know, Manichaean struggle for supremacy out there that, you know, uh, and I try to look at it from the tip of the spear, the people that are the truthers that are out there that are, I think, homing in on the nuts and bolts of it the best. I could be wrong. There could be all kinds of people out there that I've never heard of before and never seen before. But just in my ecosphere, stuff that comes under my onto my attention, this is what I look at. And I think we're moving into a new phase here, and it's always one step forward, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and this is kind of a 1 step back because uh, you think you're making progress, and then you know um, then we're going to war, but you know so the boss is taking more slings and arrows, and so are the rest of all the people. But we can kind of see the game, and we can kind of see which way this is going, and it's going in the right direction. It just looks like it's going in the wrong direction, which is how a lot of things happen, which is how this is a pattern, you know. And it's a pretty seems like a pretty smart plan, but the ones the anons and so on amongst us are the ones who have to take the brunt of it, because we're more awake, but at the same time, um, those who are not awake kind of use us as a whipping boy whenever anything goes wrong, so called, whenever the media tells them that something's going wrong. It's really actually amazing how asleep people have allowed themselves to be just even this late in the game. I mean, like this has been going on. We've had a complete clown show, um, absurdity after absurdity for almost 10 years now, where it's so transparent that we're watching a movie and that I'm not saying that there's nothing spontaneous that's happening out there. I'm just saying that the overall plot has already been traced out, and yeah, there's plenty of room for accidents, and it's just like if you're playing chess or something like that. You can tell you're going to win the game, but you know, there might be some contingencies involved. But but just the utter complete clown show that's going on, that somehow the vast majority of the country, I won't say the vast majority, a large part of the country has not picked up on yet. And like, I mean, I've said it to them, like, the entire world is waiting for you to wake up, and like you're not doing it. Like, it's incumbent upon you to wake up now. The whole world is waiting for you, and they just slough it off. Like, they think that they're in such a much better place than they are in, and they don't think that people can see right through them. One thing that you can just see through is that they will not have a discussion with you. you know I This is definitely not the purpose of this segment, of this channel. Like, I don't intend to come on here and talk about the left and that's the last thing that I should be talking about because it's irrelevant. What I need to be talking about is how to move forward, thinking that we're going to win this, but is it going to be a Pyrrhic victory? Are we really moving forward, or is it going to be more of the same? And I think one of the touchstones there, it has to do with religion. And, you know, there's so many people out there that disagree with me, but they haven't looked at the evidence. And the evidence, um, and when they have looked at the evidence, they've looked at it through a biased lens. Just trust me when I tell you that if, the word Bible and the word Jesus Christ, the words Jesus Christ, uh, either one at a time or both, um, they are incantations. And so you automatically put yourself in a mental space when you're referring to those two concepts, and that allows you to drop your scrutiny and to drop your discrimination, to drop your discernment, and give the benefit of the doubt to those things where you would never give the benefit of the doubt to anybody or anything else. And that has cost this movement, or it's about to cost this movement if we don't figure it out, because that's where the traps are laid. um, my general advice would be, open up a copy of Josephus's War of the Jews, a history of a war between the Jews and the Romans from 66 to 73 AD. And it's in 7 volumes, 7 short volumes. And just peruse it alongside your Gospels, especially the book of Luke, and tell me if they weren't written by the same people. And tell me that they don't have, you know, countless parallels between the two, but some are like way more blatant than others. The most blatant is that General Titus of the Romans uh, lays siege to the city of Jerusalem, lays siege to Judea in general, um, in starting in book 3. And Josephus recounts his military campaign, where he goes and what battles he fights and what other adventures he uh, goes into with his men. And that is the model for the ministry of Jesus. Every place that Titus goes, Jesus also goes at in the same order. And we're talking about 40 separate locations. And at each location, they undertake uh, or experience parallel events that are 40 years apart because the gospel stories are modeled upon Titus, upon Josephus, but they are backdated by 40 years, which means that the prophecies that Jesus makes in the New Testament are actually fulfilled in the pages of War of the Jews, most particularly being the prophecy that Jesus makes about the second coming of the Son of Man. The marker for that is the destruction of Jerusalem, where no two stones will lay upon one another, or something to that effect. And that is accomplished by General Titus, who eventually becomes Emperor Titus. And so Titus is the second coming of Jesus, according to the prophecy and according to the history. And people throughout history knew this. It's been squashed beginning in the 19th century, but theologians knew this. They weren't looking to the 21st century for the events of Armageddon. The events of Armageddon had already occurred in 70 AD. So that's one of many conundrums that comes up in the War of the Jews when read in tandem with the Gospels. There is a big rat there that I smell. And you don't know what it all means, but I know that the emperors there at Rome were the Flavian dynasty of Caesars from 69 until 96 AD. Emperors Vespasian and his two sons, Titus and Domitian. And they're called the Flavians. It means blonde or golden, just like the golden age that we're being ushered into. And those that are ushering us into this golden age um, are treating us like children and pretending like they are Christians or that they support the Christians. They obviously know that the New Testament was written by Josephus, um, or other Romans that he's working with. They know this, and so they need to be confronted with it. Um, but there's no one to really confront them because everybody believes in it to the point where they wouldn't confront it. So it's something that's we're going to have to figure out how to do. I'm going to have to help figure out how to do this. But this is not it's not going to work this way. If you think that you're going to move into the new age, into the golden age, without ever examining your religious beliefs and examining other aspects of your culture, you're sadly mistaken. All of us have to do that. That there's no moving forward without doing that. And so put down your popcorn, and even put down the social media and everything, paying attention to this war, and get down to business. Maybe meditate, maybe take some psychedelics, maybe work out some, get in touch with your body, mind, and spirit. Uh, that's how we make the change here. We can do the voting and the you know podcasting and the running for office or campaigning or whatever. But what is really going to move the needle is that if we do the work on ourselves. Okay. Um, like, share, subscribe, comment, contribute, and come back next time for episode 23 of the Q-tip of the spear. Have a great day.